From the Studio 13 Studios in Splendora, Texas.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank. It is a Sunday night. Weird, I know. Hey, we do it when we can. I've got Mark Hogan to my left.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Where you been?
You moved my camera.
Yeah.
I'm used to going, how's it going? And now people are going, how's it going everybody?
Where you been?
I've been busy.
Yeah, it's that car, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
The car.
He cannot get a reliable car.
I've got a nice car. You talking about the Midnight Black Dodge Challenger 5.7 Hemi Redline package?
When did you get that car?
I've had that forever.
All right. Well, Mark.
GPS said at 59 minutes here.
And did you make it?
I made it in 19.
Damn, that's pretty good.
And I stopped and got gas.
And he burned 4 gallons of gas between just coming down Wagon Wheel.
You get gallons to the mile, but it's worth it, man.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Mark. So you've got a guest that you brought in, and this is going to be a great show.
It's going to be a fun show, a musical show, something a little different.
Okay.
Jazz fusion with Mr. Glen Ackerman.
Hello, hello. I see a camera. I'm going to wave. Hello, camera.
Yeah, is that his camera?
That's his camera.
You moved everything.
Yeah, no, I wanted to get better shots. The profiles are fine, but I actually wanted to get, people's vision.
I'm not sure that's my good side.
Well,
we'll see later, won't we?
Do what you can.
Perfect, man. My drummer just showed up.
All right, so we've got a fifth. Come on in.
The drummer just showed up.
Continue.
You know how drummers are.
Yeah.
He's a percussionist.
What's up?
A percussionist, hey.
Nice to meet you.
You sit in the middle. I gotta hit your mic. So come on in. It's gonna be great.
What's your name, young man?
Gavin, what's yours?
Gavin. I'm Mark Hogan. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Nothing like showing up right in the middle of it. We're rolling. We are rolling.
We're live right now.
Gavin, late Gavin. You're not late on the beat, are you? Because he is the drummer, right?
Right.
What kind of drums you play?
I got some Yamahas in the car.
Yamahas. You want to buy a set of Tamas? We can talk about that in a little while. Though.
You said what?
You want to buy a set of Tamas? I've got a guy that's got a Tama set, really nice.
He's got Tama Rockstar from 1989 he wants to say. Aqua Blue went on tour with Rat.
13-inch bass.
Yeah, actually, this guy played with Journey for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so he was one of their session musicians. I didn't know they used session guys, but they did. And he was one of their session guys, and now he wants to sell it. That kit's like huge.
Nice.
I was like, damn, I couldn't even fit it in here. So
You got a cowbell?
It probably has a cowbell.
Good.
I mean, you can't have a drum kit without a cowbell, man.
You can have a cowbell without a drum kit, but you can't have a drum kit without a cowbell.
That's it. All right, Glenn. So
Yes.
you have just been hired on at Houston Community College, or
Oh, no. So I've been at Houston Community College for 10
Okay.
years. It's now, they just changed their name. It's Houston City College. I just got hired on at
Really?
University of Houston. Yeah.
why'd they change the name?
I don't know. I think because
That's
it's
what lawsuits
I think it's
do.
I think because it's still HCC.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Who knows why? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know
Okay.
why. I wasn't in the meeting,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, there you go.
I honestly, I just showed up one day and they said, we changed our name to Houston City College. And I was like, well, the C still works, HCC. So
Yeah.
as long as
So you teach music at Houston City College.
Correct.
And you were just hired on with U of H.
correct
To also
yes.
teach music and theory and everything that goes along with that.
Yes, yeah. There's a title for me that I really love. The affiliate artist of jazz and commercial bass.
I would put that on the outside of my house.
I'm just saying, bro.
there you go. That's it.
That was the only reason I called y'all for pre-production planning. Make sure we say this, 'cause it's the coolest title I've ever had.
Yeah.
So what specifically do you teach? I mean, just music all around, or is it bass? or what?
Bass. Well, I'm a professional bassist, so
Okay.
it would be bass. It's a bass-centric thing. I didn't bring it, but I also play the double bass, right? The doghouse, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I've had
And
a guy
so-
in here that can play excellent. He's really good.
Yeah. So, I'll be teaching a jazz and commercial music curriculum. Actually, the dean is really cool. He was like, it's kind of your curriculum to write. So which really speaks to me because I think that a lot of colleges focus a little too much on like very, very traditional academic jazz, where
Sure.
I kind of want, I would like my students, I mean, they're not all going to be superstars. They're going to be like working stiffs, and they got to learn to play electric. They got to learn how to play a country two-beat to play a country gig. They got to learn to play by ear. They got to learn to do all kinds of things, you know, that working stiff musicians would have to do.
Is there still country two-beat stuff out there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought that was dead.
No. There was a whole scene of, because I play country gigs, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole scene. There's like a, you know, country is very conservative, but you know, there's a whole new scene of country. But there's like people who like really, really are like adamant about holding on to kind of how older things sound.
Wow.
You know?
I haven't heard any of that.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of the country that's been morphed into like country rock.
Yeah, well,
You know?
yeah. So I played a lot with three artists actually, but two particular. One is named Phineas Rebb, headed by a guy named Cody Koba, who would be really great for your podcast if you ever wanted him.
Awesome.
And another guy who's his name is Chip Oliphant, and I recorded sessions for all of them. In fact, I think Brian Thomas, his studio is not far from here. Brian Thomas was a banjo player, played for. Joel, who's that guy Wills, the Texas Playboy?
Oh, Bob Wills.
Yeah, he played banjo as a teenager for Bob Wills.
Really?
Yeah. And
Banjo's
Wow,
cool.
there's a
yeah,
name.
he has a recording studio. If I remember correctly, it's not far from here. It's
Wow.
maybe Cleveland or Porter or something, which
Yeah,
I think
there was a recording studio in Cleveland. I think it's
Yeah.
closed since then. But
maybe.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, but that wasn't the name of it.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
In any case, so we recorded a couple albums at his recording studio, and then they
Okay.
hired me to be their bassist for some period of time.
Cool.
And a lot of that stuff they're doing, you know, we're doing, you know, Take the Ribbon from My Hair. You know, they're not doing like this.
Oh, wow.
They're not doing country rock or
God, that came
or-
out when I was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
sucking a bottle.
Yeah, with the rap bridges. They're not doing any of that. You know.
Wow.
You know. So
That's wow. That's
So Glen
interesting.
Ackerman teaching
Yeah.
music and theory at two different colleges.
Yes.
And fronting a band.
yes,
And session work.
yes,
And composing.
Yes.
And you got another album coming out.
yes.
I'm tired already.
Let's talk about the album a little bit.
Okay, okay, cool,
Where are you
cool.
recording at?
We're recording at Sound Arts in Houston.
Okay.
A guy named Brian Baker is the engineer.
Cool.
We recorded last year, maybe a little over a year ago.
November.
No, yeah, maybe it was about a year ago. Yeah. And I liked all the tunes. I just want to do some more and have more to choose from.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do any more albums per se because of the way music is released now
Mhm.
and the way people consume my music.
Right.
I would rather like release it as like content. Does that make sense? Like
Absolutely.
EPs. I could do EPs
Yeah.
for the rest of my life and be fine. And maybe put it all in an album and make like press it for albums
Mhm.
and then sell it like and do something very special with the artwork and sell it at a premium maybe. But like it's all you know, digital streaming.
So what do you think about like the music business and how it changed and how music is consumed these days? I mean, I think it makes it really hard for an artist to get out there and make it because you got a gig to live.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to not be that way when you could sell albums and
Yeah.
you could sell,
Yeah.
you know, the 45s and that kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yeah, you used
And
to
now it's-
gig to
yeah,
sell
it's-
the album.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's a gigging to live. And
Um,
it seems like that would be a lot harder. Or am I wrong and the streaming services actually help promote your gig to live lifestyle?
oh, this is a very complicated question. All right. So
Hey, you want to get it more complicated?
come on,
Let's
let's go.
multiply it by 2.
Let's do another layer. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, so I used to make some mailbox money. My first 3 albums as a band leader back when we were a quintet. My first 2 albums had some national popularity.
Okay.
We were
Was that
signed to-
Glenius the
Yeah,
Alien?
that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was signed to Blue Bamboo Records, which is kind of an independent record label that was in Humble. And they moved, I think they relocated to Orlando, Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw they were in Florida too because I
Yeah.
looked them up because you
Yep,
were coming
yep.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And I did make some mailbox money, and I got a lot of reams of CDs, and that was part of my payment for signing with them.
Mhm.
And I sold out of the trunk of my car CDs, $10 a pop, and just kept the cash, and I made tons of money. You know what I'm saying? Like selling
yeah.
that merch.
I bought them both.
yeah. So
That's cool.
I did also sell T-shirts in the very beginning,
Yeah.
merch and stuff. Now with the streaming, it's like that's I have to find something to create revenue that's not CDs. No one buys CDs anymore.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they download everything now.
Yeah, or they don't even bother. They just stream it. They don't even bother with the download.
Man. See, I still like vinyl. I'm a vinyl guy. But, I was born
They're
in the
making that
60s.
again.
Yeah.
Brought up in the 70s. I mean, vinyl was it.
Man, I think if you have the gear,
That have the gear.
if you have the gear, then it's a really great medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have and it was mastered for vinyl.
Right.
Some people go back and remaster stuff, and it kind of ruins it, in my opinion. Like Led Zeppelin. If you listen to Led Zeppelin,
Because you're trying to go backwards from digital to analog.
yeah, exactly. If you go back,
work.
my big example,
Yeah.
I have students who ask me about this all the time, and once I expose it, once I open the curtain and you see the wizard behind the curtain, you're not going to unhear it, okay? So listen to Led Zeppelin 3, Since I've Been Loving You, right?
Okay, yeah.
If you can hear they have the swinger line kick drum pedal,
Okay.
which didn't they call it the squeaker line? Was that what, there was a
Yeah.
nickname for it? You
Okay,
know what I'm
I
talking
didn't know
about?
about
And it goes.
that.
Oh, yeah.
It squeaks really bad all the time,
Right.
Because he's kicking, and then he has his foot resting on it, and the kick pedal moves, and so it has that little bearing there,
Okay.
and it squeaks.
Yeah.
So if you listen to it on the CD or on streaming, you're going to hear squeaking constantly throughout
Yeah,
the whole
it's in
thing.
there,
It's
yeah.
going to drive you crazy, but you can hear a little bit of it. But if you listen to it on the album, on the gear that it was made with, like if you listen to it on an old Marantz system, right,
Yeah.
or a record player. You're smiling. Yeah, I had one too, right?
Yeah.
I have the album. I used to play it. You
That's
don't
just the way to go.
you don't quite hear it. It's kind of buried because
Yeah.
they didn't expect that
Right.
bandwidth to be available.
Yeah.
So if
Wow.
my philosophy is, if you're going to listen to, if like for example in jazz,
It
there's
just brings out all that background noise.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah. There's a whole era of jazz. It's my favorite era, like the Blue Note era, like
Yeah.
59 to like maybe 1967 or 68.
Oh, yeah.
The blue, the blue played by the Blue Note records. Most of the Rudy Van Gelder recordings, like some of that's my favorite music.
Yeah.
Man, listening to it on vinyl is like an Excelsior experience because that's what it was made for.
Uh-huh.
In my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah. Let's see, what did I do?
So you grew up listening to the same radio rock that we all did.
Yes,
Top
true.
40 and the rock and roll and Bad Company and Ted Nugent and everything.
Yep.
What drew you to jazz? Because
Oh,
that's
wow.
a whole different animal, you know?
Jazz is a different. And you have to be a musical connoisseur, I think, to get into jazz the way that you need to get into it, to listen to it the way that it needs to be listened to. Man, does that make any sense at all?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. So for me, I learned to play piano at a very young age. My mom took me to piano lessons, and I played. I read music, did classical stuff,
Yeah.
and I had a family where music was something in our daily lives. My brothers and sister were in the marching band, and so the musical instruments they're always practicing, and I had free reign of the record player, so music was very enriching.
Awesome.
To me.
Yeah. Great.
And so when I started picking up an instrument, when I picked up guitar, I guess I was about 11. I was really into. I just liked playing. I liked playing all the rock and roll music that I liked to listen to, and I had like a thing about playing guitar where I just really loved it, and I played all the time. And if you play all the time, you get good, right? And so I had some technical facility at guitar at a very young age, and so something about like for example, the band. I was really into all kinds of music or whatever, right? And so. Like I listened to the band Rush, for example.
Okay.
And I like
Great band.
Yeah. And so if you listen to their first album, I read in a magazine, maybe Guitar Player or one of those old Guitar Player magazines, that Geddy Lee says when we were young, we're really into Led Zeppelin. Now I was already listening to Led Zeppelin, but I listened to Led Zeppelin, because I liked to move backwards in time. Well, what did Led Zeppelin listen to?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
where'd the influence
he
come
talks
from?
about being with
Yeah.
the Yardbirds and Eric
Right.
Clapton's groups and other stuff. And so what came before them was the Yardbirds or Cream,
Yeah.
And then what did Ginger Baker from Cream listen to? He listened to all those old jazz drummers.
Yeah.
He did a whole drum battle album where it's just him and his favorite jazz drummers, and they're just playing loud rock. Him and Art Blakey are playing loud raucous, or Elvin Jones maybe, and they're like loud raucous drum solos. And so what did he listen to? And so I like to go backwards, okay? And so at some point in my development, that constant desire to like go backwards through music history led me into fusion jazz, which is the combination of electric instruments and rock music into jazz.
Connected to your soul.
Yeah, exactly. And so from there, I heard about a guy named Al Di Meola, who's, if you've ever heard of him, he's probably the greatest guitar player you've ever heard, right? He's just super clean. And then from there, I learned about Return to Forever, which is a big fusion jazz, and I learned about Chick Corea, and then Miles Davis, and then it's like my grandpa's music. What? And then I'm hearing Miles Davis had an album, excuse my language, called Bitches Brew, which is psychedelic. I mean, it sounds like, it's like if you could take like the last 2/3 of The Doors at the end, but make it jazz music. That's the album. You know? It's psychedelic as hell. Yeah. And then but then if you listen to Miles Davis's album 3 albums before, it doesn't sound anything like it. It sounds like something else. And then so I just started going backwards and backwards. So that's how I got into jazz, because I'm always like trying to search what did they listen to, and where did they come from, and where did they come from, kind of a thing.
And I think that's the coolest thing about music, is that as people play, even groups that play together for years and years, their music's going to morph and change.
Yeah.
You know, just as their taste develops, and as you know, as just their skill gets better.
One of the biggest examples of that to me is the Beatles.
Yep.
6 years between I Want to Hold Your Hand to Helter Skelter. I mean, talk about an evolution. Those guys were amazing.
Yeah.
The closest I ever came to really getting into jazz, and not really calling it that, was in the 70s when Jeff Beck was playing with Jan Hammer.
Dude, that's
God.
fusion jazz. To me, that's fusion jazz.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
The Wired CD, I keep wearing out. I had to buy a new one, you know.
Yeah.
Great driving music, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Not a word in it. So
when I had a different group some years before I assembled these guys, and we did Wired. We did 2 Jeff Beck tunes. We did Freeway Jam, which will make you put your pedal down if you're on 99, and we did I'm gonna hum the tune. Boom, 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 boom. Lead Boots.
Lead Boots. Yeah. Too, Lead Boots are good by Pork Pie Hat.
Yeah, that's a jazz tune.
Yeah.
That's not he was Jeff Beck. He straddled both worlds. You know?
Right.
Amazing.
He was something else.
Yeah,
one of my all-time
favorite
favorites.
guitarists.
He's great. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So Gavin, the drummer, what's your last name?
Mulchan. Yeah.
Are you late everywhere you go? Do you all guys have to
coming from a gig.
explain to the manager and the bartenders and everybody, he's coming.
No, I'm going to take credit for or take responsibility for the. I had COVID really bad when it came out, so I'm going to blame COVID. Though chances are it just being a doofus. I got in my mind that the gig was in Shenandoah, not Splendora. Right?
Okay.
So I thought. So we booked 7:00. He gets out of his gig at 6. Maybe gets in his car by 6:15.
Yeah,
he can be kind of pulling up as we're doing mic checks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you sent me one of you two sent me the thing, I'm like, oh, Splendora. And then
where's that at?
Yeah, I've heard of this. Oh, it's Porter. It's kind of far.
Yeah, it's right near the end of the world.
So it's my fault that. So he's actually never late. He has a great reputation.
If you go another half mile down the road, everything's black and white, made of wood. It's true.
It sure is.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
if you don't have overalls on,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Joel White, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here
Of course.
and on time. So, what do you do for the band?
I play guitar.
Good job.
Yeah.
So these youngsters are into jazz fusion.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Great. Yeah.
There's hope for the world yet.
There is. Hopefully.
So, who's your favorite guitarist? Do you have one besides yourself, of course?
I like this guitar player Adam Rogers a lot. He's a like New York-based jazz guitarist, but he really kind of does like everything.
Yeah.
And like does like pop and session work too. He was on like the Eagles and like Steely Dan most recent tour. But,
Steely Dan, tough band.
Yeah.
Man, have you seen that documentary
Not yet.
they did?
Not yet.
Oh my God! I mean, they spent like 16 months making Asia in the studio every freaking day,
Yeah.
and they fired somebody every day.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I mean, they went through, I think, 460 session musicians, some weird number like that. I was like, damn.
I'm not
But-
surprised.
But
yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's very pristine.
There you go.
Some of the
Yeah.
most pristine music recorded.
Absolutely. Yeah, worth it. So, how did you fall into guitar? I mean, lessons as a kid, your parents forced it on you?
I took piano lessons when I was younger for a couple of years and was pretty into it, like Glenn was saying. And my mom played some piano, and my dad plays guitar and bass, and like a lot of
Another musical
other,
family.
It's,
Yeah.
it's in the blood.
kind
Yeah.
of like country string instruments like banjo and mandolin and
Yeah.
stuff. And so eventually I kind of got interested in guitar on my own because I started listening to Van Halen
Cool.
and
Yeah.
bands like that. So then I got interested enough to want to sort of pick it up. And yeah, that's how I got started.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Van Halen was a pretty good guitar player.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he was a great inventor. He
Yeah.
invented so much
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Right.
He was
The first
good.
guitar was like a parts guitar.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
that you see with the stripe on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
thought
mean,
that
he was the first
electrical
guy
tape.
to pot a pickup.
Say that again?
He was the first guy to pot a pickup.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
now that's standard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just he came up with all kinds of the Floyd Rose bridge.
Mhm.
So you got a Floyd Rose on your guitar?
No.
What kind of guitar do you have? I haven't seen it yet.
It's a Balaguer. They're a
Okay.
company from Pennsylvania, but
Cool.
it's basically like a kind of like hot rodded like metal kind of
Awesome.
Strat.
And you'll be leaving that here, right? There you
Maybe.
Nice try.
go. There you
You
go.
got something to trade it for.
And so, how'd you get into drums, man? How did it start?
Man, so I started, I just signed up for percussion like when I was in middle school. So I guess I was like 11.
Yeah.
And once I did it, like I realized, you know, it was like more of like the classical world and stuff like snare drum, like bass drum, marimba and stuff like that. And that stuff just never really resonated with me, but I just did it because, like, you know, I had a community of friends in it.
Resonated. This drum talk.
Or weed talk.
But yeah, like, so I got to high school, and then my best friend at the time was a really good piano player and just kind of self-taught, and he was really into like McCoy Tyner and like just a bunch of like jazz stuff like Miles Davis, John Coltrane, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like his big guy was that, and then they had a drum set in a practice room, and I just kind of just mess around, you know, just kind of playing with him, and then one day I saw one of my kind of upperclassmen friends when I was a freshman practicing in a practice room, and I was like, hey man, like, you know, I was like, man, you sound like really good. I have a drum set at the house collecting dust, but I don't have any like use for it. Like, I'm like, what are you practicing for? Are you in a band? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm auditioning for jazz band next year, or, you know, just preparing for it. And I was like, man, we have a jazz band, like that's pretty cool. So I just signed up, and
Wow.
like sophomore year on, I just like I took that whole summer and just like really practiced, like got a couple of drum lessons, and then you know, I'd go over to my best friend's house like almost every day after school, and like, you know, we just practiced together and stuff, and like, you know, he was just putting me on all these like records, and it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I
Awesome.
always see the same thread with every musician I interview.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a natural dedication. It's not like forced dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more like a natural
Well, they're
dedication.
drawn to
A
it.
compulsion. A
Yeah,
compulsion.
Yeah.
compulsion, almost like an addiction. It's
Yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah.
But it seems like the guys, and then again with guitarists, I found a lot of the better guitarists started with piano, and that's where I missed out, man. My mom had a piano, but she wouldn't let me.
I know what to
touch it.
get you for Christmas.
Hey, remember my mom's piano?
Yeah. You
She
didn't
had-
never touch it.
Yeah, she had a black Kawai.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful piano. But I swear to God, I'm not lying about this.
Mm-hmm.
I could take my finger and press it under the keyboard, under it,
Mhm.
at the bottom,
Mhm.
where no one would ever see it.
Mhm.
And within 3 days, my mom would be like, "Who touched my piano?"
Oh, yeah.
right,
I
right.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
She was
found
on
a
top of
fingerprint
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
underneath it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was
a lot
rough.
of those old school moms were the same way.
Man, yeah.
you know.
And she learned in Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
And the nuns taught her, and every time she'd make a mistake, you know, they'd strike her with a ruler or something. And she was a classical pianist. Really, my mom
I
was
never
actually,
heard her play.
Oh, she was awesome, man. She was really good.
Huh.
And it's one of those things. They didn't teach me Dutch, or they were Dutch, and she didn't teach me how to play the piano. But she let me play guitar.
Because if you're not Dutch, you're not much.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
I don't know why that comes out. That's really strange.
Did I have my drum kit when we met? We met way back in the 1800s in high school.
Oh, yeah.
I think you had
When
a
this
drum
place
kit.
was
Yeah.
literally wagon wheels.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, they had just invented electricity. And,
So before I sucked on guitar, I sucked on drums. You know? The neighbors hated me. Did the neighbors hate you?
They never complained. They're always cool. But I mean, as far as I know, I'm sure they probably were talking some mess, like in the comfort of their own house.
yeah.
The whole neighborhood used to jam when I played.
So it must be hard to decide that you're going to be a musician and you're going to earn a living from it. I mean, it seems like that's the toughest decision to make, because where do you start? How do you make it happen? You know, how old does it get eating a jar of mayonnaise?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at what point do you say, I can't do this anymore? I've got to go back to carpentry or whatever you did before, you know? And because there's so many guys out there who are trying and don't make it.
Yeah.
And they're honestly great musicians. It just doesn't
Oh,
happen.
Nashville's
for
full of
them.
them.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be able to earn a living, I think is truly a magical experience, man.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't be me, you know? So, I mean,
I think you have to be successful as a musician. I think you have to be one of two things. You have to either be an absolute superstar, and then you're a made man. You just have to keep that rolling. But most of us, I think, have to do many things really well. You know, and the big three that I can think of in Houston, I say three, maybe four. That you have to be a good performer, being able to play a variety of music, so you can just come to a gig and sit in on a gig.
Right.
Or sub for someone.
Adaptability.
Yeah.
God,
I
yeah,
play
there's
a
no
lot of country
way.
gigs. You know, I played it the other night. I played in an '80s tribute band.
oh,
You know,
no.
and like yeah. And so I grew up kind of with that music. It wasn't. The '80s wasn't. Well, in the '80s, I listened to stuff in the '70s. So, but you hear the '80s, you know, like I've heard it, so I knew it. So, but I can play that style, and I had the right gear, and so I did it, you know. So there's performing, and then there's recording sessions, you know. So there's a lot of songwriters in Houston, especially during COVID. That's kind of what kept me going. Is like there were people who were like they were home for COVID, and they wanted to get out and record their songs. That I had a stack of songs, and so, you know, I got calls to do sessions, and I have to listen to the song and think what would make the song best, you know. And then the last thing, something for me that I think I do very well is teach. It sounds like I'm bragging, but I've been lucky that I've been very successful teaching, you know. So I just have to do all those things. The fourth thing would be doing arrangements and writing sheet music, which is kind of like my secret weapon, you know. I can do it from the comfort of my home. You know? Like when you open a book, I can make all that formatting look just like it's a book of music, you know. With
He teaches our friend Eric Hancock of the Reverb Cartel.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, Eric's great. We love having him on.
Yeah, the whole cartel's been on the show.
They're going to be coming back.
Awesome.
Yep, they're working on it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If they were here when the studio was being built.
No ceiling,
Yeah,
no
ceiling.
nothing.
I don't think the control room was done yet.
It's all black, if I remember correctly. It's all dark.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. It was empty. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And there were no treatments or nothing. I mean, it was almost a bad room, but it sounded all right. Yeah, it came out okay. All right, well, you guys ready to play?
We are ready.
All right, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to break down. So, guys, we're going to break down. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we're going to set these guys up. They're going to play us a tune or two, and going to continue moving forward. Man, I appreciate y'all coming in.
And I appreciate you having us.
this
Thank
is-
you.
It was
Yeah,
great to finally
a good
meet you.
conversation so far, and I love listening to musicians talk about how they got where they are, what they do, and
Yeah.
how they feel about music. Because I honestly believe that music provides proof of soul.
Yeah.
Because how can you do that without having a soul?
Music
I know
is an
it's-
emotion. It's
Yeah.
a feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in your soul,
Yeah,
like you
it's,
said.
yeah, it's not something that you can. It's not like learning a new language where you can just regurgitate.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Conway Twitty made me cry, and I never even met the guy. We can cut that part out, right?
I've never been big on country music, man.
Yeah, but
You know, was he blind though?
was he
Conway?
what?
Blind? Was he blind?
I think
Conway
so.
Twitty?
Conway Twitty? No, he wasn't blind.
One of those guys.
Yeah, which one was blind?
Ronnie Millsap
There
was
we go.
blind.
Yeah,
Millsap.
there we go.
Yeah, he was blind.
Yeah.
I listened to one of his songs.
He was
just
not
the
my
other day.
favorite. He was when I was listening to country because I was dating this girl who was into country.
That's why you were listening.
That's exactly why I was listening.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
And that guy had like 3 or 4 songs in the top 40 at all times for a while. And he wasn't my favorite.
I did like Clint Black. I just
Yeah.
didn't like that he sang out of only one part of his mouth.
If he'd have used
know,
his whole mouth, can you imagine? Just saying.
That's it.
So let's break it down
Yep,
and
let's
hear some
break it down
jazz
and-
fusion with Glen Ackerman and the boys.
There you go. Back in a bit, guys. All right.
Nice.
Bye.